All right, here we go. Let's see here. Welcome to Satchats Live, the Bitcoin podcast where we chat about sats live. Sats are the smallest part of a Bitcoin, the same way pennies are the smallest part of a dollar. With Satchats Live, we are building the world's biggest Bitcoin welcome center to serve as your gateway to generational wealth. So if you're brand new to Bitcoin, and if you ain't that brand new to Bitcoin, we want to chat about sats with you. Jump into the chat right now. I'm your host, Stuart Bitcoin Maxi, who wears prescription sunglasses to protect you and your loved ones from my Bitcoin illusion.
Is that Bitcoin laser eyes?
From my Bitcoin illusion.
One of the things we were talking about yesterday was if we have a Bitcoiner on and they use language and lingo and talk about examples that our pre-coiner audience might not understand.
Yeah.
That's our signal and our cue to be like, hold on a second. Yeah. What Jeff Booth just said there, what Jameson Lopp's trying to explain. And that's true for you when we have a Bitcoiner on. But for me, that's true all the time. Because when you say... Would you say it again?
Are you saying like when I go into like how I say stuff as a person? Yeah. Like
yeah. I think translating it helps, but also just pausing to recognize what just happened there.
Dude, what's funny is and I think I've said this to you before. When I'm at home and it's me, my wife, and my two kids, I almost exclusively speak in whatever you would call what I do. And it just warms my heart that they converse with me normally as if it's like when somebody it's like somebody speaks Spanish and you understand Spanish and you just reply to them in English and they understand English too, but like it's easier for them to speak in Spanish and it's easier for you to respond in English. Like I'll just be like, "Choop the gambits on the flambeau."
What does that mean?
And Kitty will go, "Okay, Dad's telling me it's time to go."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it becomes fully degenerate gibberish. But like the way that I do it, like, you know, it might rhyme with what I'm trying to say, or it might start with the same sound, or it may, and anyways, Kitty is the best at understanding me, and sometimes I'll throw things out there and see. I'll go down the line. Kristen, do you know what I just said? No. Lion, do you know what I just said? No. Kitty, and she'll tell me what I said. I'm like, she's my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you're like the living, like Cajun makes sense to me now. Because you know, like how many languages? 3 or 4?
Yes, I can do English. I can do Spanish. I can do French. I can do Renaissance era French, which is totally. So many more letters. It's amazing, and just like a little bit of Mandarin. But I love languages. And we were in Myrtle Beach for a holiday, and these dudes were like they were doing the like rolled ice cream.
Yeah.
And dude, they were just And I literally stopped and was like just doing like this while they were making the ice cream. And at the end, I was like, Jamaica, patois. And they're like, "Hey, brother." And I was like, yeah. You know, like, it made me feel so much self-esteem to be able to recognize that language. Even though I can't speak it myself, like, just using enough clues and listening, I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and accents, too.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Dude.
Well, I do, too. I mean, I think it's an endearing trait. But I do want to make sure that maybe I shouldn't even say anything. Maybe I just ought to let it. I
think our daily listeners know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that.
I am your co-host, Chris, founder and CEO of Ithaca
Hummus.
What else? Bitcoin smash buyer when my wife lets me. Which. I mean, she like right now.
Bro, how can she not right now?
Well, I mean, it's the wrong time. I mean, you know what though? My father-in-law was over last night, and he's like, "Chris, all right, so the ETFs, like, can I just do the ETF?" I'm like, no.
If you want to be a punk,
buy Bitcoin. It's
buy
not
real
that
Bitcoin.
hard. Like, just buy the Bitcoin.
Seriously.
But hey, what are we at right now? What do we got back there?
Oh man, confirmed on chain for number 60 Simple Steve for the past 3 hours, $117,837. Ba-ba-boom.
Good God. Because fiat has no bottom.
It's almost to me like I need to be comfortable explaining to pre-coiners that Bitcoin is the top performing asset for the past 16 years in a row because they're only able to determine its value in relation to the US dollar. That's kind of like the train station and Main Street, you know, and Cinderella's castle is off in the distance. And I'm hoping that by the time I get them to Cinderella's castle, I can say, okay, now look, you can go over here to Tomorrowland, over here to Frontierland, over here to Adventureland. Even though I got you into the park with the understanding that it's always going up, now that you're here, I want you to understand that Bitcoin actually isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's time to flip that script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and actually, when I got here this morning, Anna, Bevan, and Jeremy asked me some trivia question. Maybe it's for this show, but where is Bitcoin? Is it in your wallet? Is it at the exchange? Is it on the blockchain? I forget the exact question, but like, and maybe I shouldn't answer it because if we're gonna, okay.
Oh, right.
But,
okay. So,
but
yeah.
maybe a hint. Maybe a hint. Okay. Bitcoin doesn't go anywhere. Doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
It's always in the same place.
So let's do this here. Let's ask and let's see if VAW is in the chat. Because here's what I'm thinking. VAW answered the first question correctly, right? So he's got 9 Satoshis stacked up with us. And today I have the next question for him, right? For 99 Satoshis. But I'm also thinking that if he's not here, then we should just put it to the people who are here and get a fresh contestant rolling, right? Like instead of like, you know, it's like we couldn't just necessarily take VAW all the way through if he's not here. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, how about this?
Okay.
How about we keep it at 99?
Okay.
Let somebody else hit it for 99. Oh. And then they get to decide to take or pass.
Okay.
How's
And if they don't show up the following week, then it's a pass. And it's 99, you know, and we can go up that way.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. We got a couple of people in chat here. Senor Gringo Poppy, what's going on, brother? We are very excited for you to come into the virtual studio next week.
Oh, wow.
He's gonna be our third satillionaire.
Dang.
Lucola, I should memorize his number. Is he in the 30s? Number 44, Evan, right here in Raleigh. And now Senor Gringo Poppy is going to be number 3. So let's throw it up on the screen for the satillionaires who are
He said you muted my
No,
volume,
okay.
no sound.
So we're saying no sound. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. We will fix that.
We're good. Jeremy's saying we're good.
Okay. All right. Let us know. All right. Good now. All right. So James absolutely. Let's see here. James wrecked that. He went super fast. It is D, the blockchain. It's kind of feels like a trick question because you feel like the keys are. Sometimes I mistake my keys for my Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I think my Bitcoin is in the wallet.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. The wallet's just showing me my Bitcoin on the blockchain.
Right.
And it has the keys. That wallet allows me to send and receive and sign transactions and all that stuff. It's on the blockchain, man. It's on the blockchain. I love that, dude. Bitcoin doesn't go anywhere. It's on the blockchain. Yep. And Bitcoin's value doesn't go anywhere with respect to the dollars. It's more about the purchasing power of goods and services, What I need to start helping people understand is that there are goods and services out there in the world that you're attempting to purchase for yourself, correct? Mm-hmm. Then there's Bitcoin. And in today's terms, there's kind of an intermediary step, which is Bitcoin into US dollars, into the goods and services. Mm-hmm. And so Bitcoin's price is just trying to help you understand how many dollars worth of goods and services you can get. But we really shouldn't get too fixed on that number because that number is going to change over time. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to get more goods and services. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Bitcoin's at all-time highs, but to my way of thinking, Bitcoin won the moment it was created.
Yeah.
Like, think about penicillin. This is what I was thinking about the other day, Chris. The dude who figured out penicillin, the absolute moment he discovered penicillin, bam, an entire sea of diseases was immediately cured. Mm-hmm. But it just took time for that knowledge to disperse and eventually become this global thing that everyone was aware of. Mm-hmm. Like people get so tricked into believing that Bitcoin needs to continue to develop over time or it needs to grow into its own value, right? But it's us that needs to grow. Like penicillin could cure all of those most common bacterial infections the absolute minute it was discovered, and even before that, actually. But it's not like, well, penicillin's doing pretty good on these two diseases, but what if penicillin actually doesn't cure those two diseases anymore? Mm-hmm. I don't know if I want to try it on the third. It's like, dude, get out of here.
Yeah.
It freaking works.
Yeah.
It freaking works. You know what I mean? It's a technology.
Right.
Give me a break.
So how do we treat this? Who wants to be a satillionaire now? So what are we letting James know?
Okay, so
since
James
he got the correct answer.
James, you did get the correct answer. Way to go, brother. When you hold the keys to your Bitcoin is on the blockchain. Mm. Your Bitcoin with an exchange, your Bitcoin is on the blockchain, unless they don't have the Bitcoin that they're saying that they have, which is the problem. So James, you do get Satoshis. You've got 99 Satoshis with us. Now, next week we'll have another question, right? And let's say it's for 210 Satoshis, right? Because we still need to do that math on what our stair step's going to be. But we will give you first rights of refusal on that question. If you're here next week at the start of the show, 10 a.m. Eastern, then and you're in the chat, then when we do that question, I will only look for your answer in the chat. And you can basically lock in and try to take this all the way to 1 million Satoshis. But if you don't show up, or you see the question and it's too hard and you say pass, then we'll open it up to the next person. And maybe instead of it resetting back down to 9 Satoshis each time, it just cranks upward. And like as a group of satillionaires, you guys are trying to push to the 1 million Satoshis.
I don't know. We have to figure that out.
It's an interesting puzzle to try to do Who Wants to Be a Satillionaire with the chat.
Especially live during the show.
Yeah. But you know what? We are sitting on an all-time high. We have no problems. We don't have any real problems in this world right now, man. We get to sit in a chair Friday mornings while everybody's clearing out their email inboxes and looking at their calendar for the next week, and just talk about Bitcoin and talk about the all-time highs. It's incredible. All right, so VAW, bro, you missed the Who Wants to Be a Satillionaire. James Salvatore stole it from you, brother. So you've got 9 Satoshis, he's got 99 Satoshis, and next week we're gonna give you all another question. If James is here, he takes it. If he's not, then it's a free-for-all all over again. All right, so Jared, let's roll into some stories and some updates here, man. What do we got? What do we got on the screen to share with all of our Satillionaires this week? I'm trying to pull it up here on my phone, and it's all, there we go. All right. Okay. So stories and updates this week. Oh, dude. Okay. So look at this one. This was on Reddit a couple of days ago. It was actually my brother who showed this to me.
Love this.
An anonymous person who made a $7,800 investment in Bitcoin in 2011 has just touched their wallet for the first time in 14 years. He's now worth $1.1 billion. Biggity what?
How many years? 14 years?
So he bought 10,000 Bitcoin for $7,800 when Bitcoin was 78 cents a pop. 78 cents a pop.
Wow.
Okay? And now it's worth $1.1 billion. Now, I looked deeper into this story. It turns out that this guy had 8 identical wallets, each with 10,000 Bitcoin in them.
Wow.
So he's not worth $1.1 billion, he's worth $8.8. He spent $64,000 on Bitcoin 14 years ago. He's got $8.8 billion.
Wow.
Is that, and the only thing he did was hang out.
Yep.
He hung out.
Yep.
So all the comments were like, dude, this guy must have been in jail. Maybe it's Ross Ulbricht who's now making it happen. Because everyone in the comments was like, dude, you would have sold earlier. Like, a human being just doesn't have what it takes to hang out for 14 years while their $64,000 becomes $8.8 billion without touching it once.
Yeah.
Like, I could see somebody selling off Satoshis as they go.
Yeah, and retaining most of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But just fully locking it down?
I can see their point. Yeah, he must have been unable to.
Yeah. Now, this dude, this man or woman, okay, is an absolute Chad. And here's why. You might be thinking that this person is an absolute Chad because they spent $64,000 on Bitcoin and now have $8.8 billion. No. Talk to me a little bit about what Bitcoin Well does when they're going to send you a decent chunk of Bitcoin. What's the first thing they do when they're kind of like making sure it's going to be okay?
Well, they send you a tiny bit.
They send you a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to send you a little tiny bit. Give us your address. We're going to send you a little tiny bit. Make sure it gets there. Then we'll send the whole amount. Because if you're off by one letter or number, it either goes into somebody else's wallet or effectively like off a cliff. This dude, scoot. This dude made no test transaction. No test transaction. He just moved 10,000 Bitcoin to another address. Boom. Can you imagine sending $1.1 billion with no test? Douche. He believes in the Bitcoin network so much and his own ability. He's like, yeah, that's the address. What an absolute monster, dude. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, my guy, if you're watching, satchats.com, okay? Come on the show. Tell us your Bitcoin whale story, okay? Senor Gringo always does a test first. This guy's like, nah, bro, yeet. This dude yeeted his Bitcoin.
James Salvador says it's Roger Ver.
Oh.
Senor Gringo Poppy's saying Ross.
Looks like Schwab. Oh, man. Okay, so, and James says 95% of the world has no idea Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Insane. All right.
It is insane.
So what's the next one here? Okay, so we've got... all right, so this was something I also saw where this guy basically offered a landscaper 500,000 Satoshis or $100 cash. So I'll pay you in Bitcoin, it'll be $500. Or I'll pay you cash $100. So 5x the amount. The landscaper says, I'll pass on that. I only do cash. We're in a world where people have a financial bacterial infection, and we're offering them penicillin. They're like, nah, I'm good, dude. I'm just gonna itch.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a sore throat.
Yeah.
And my eye is just gonna have a rash. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We're offering this to you, man. We're still early, senor. We're still early. So what's the next one here, JRB? It looks like the next one I saw earlier this week as well, where it was like basically the overall market caps of different things. So gold is at the absolute top, $22 trillion market cap. The number 2 item in the world is NVIDIA. The number 3 item is Microsoft. The number 4 is Apple. Number 5 is Amazon. Number 6 is it's Bitcoin.
Wow, it's beating Google.
And this was before the all-time high from yesterday.
Wow.
So even before it hit all-time highs, it's bigger than Google.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people don't question Google, except for everyone who is a privacy enthusiast, and then we're like, get out of my face. But dude, it's bigger than Facebook. It's bigger than silver. It's bigger than Saudi Aramco. Like, y'all.
No one questions any of the other assets, companies on this list.
Who is afraid of Google going to zero?
Yeah.
Who is afraid of NVIDIA going to zero?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, my personal belief is that if you can give me one chat about sats with anybody on earth, they will stack the sats with me. Because everyone is being held back by the most insane non-beliefs possible.
Yeah.
They're all wrapped up in like, it is like the bar is so low, you can just step over it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're struggling.
Yep.
And we just have to get in there and pull that little tick out. And
It doesn't take much, man. It does not take much. I was sharing with you, I orange pilled my neighbor the other night in like, before he came over, he knew that I had this Bitcoin podcast. He knew I was into it. And I think he was probably like a little bit primed and ready to like, all right, I'm probably going to hear about Bitcoin tonight. We got like 2 hours into the night. And in the last 20 minutes, he's like, all right, so what I said,
he started the conversation in the last 20 minutes?
Well, so I referred to satchats. He's like, wait, what's it called? Satchats?
Uh-huh.
What's that mean?
Okay.
And I'm like, well, a Satoshi is the smallest part of a Bitcoin, same way as a penny is the smallest part of a dollar. And he was like, wow, okay, so should I buy Bitcoin? And I was like, yeah, you should. And then I just kind of started, maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And by the end, he was like, well, can you help me buy Bitcoin?
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, I can help you.
You were like, yeah, bitcoinwhale.com/satchats.
I said, I never actually recommend that anyone buys Bitcoin. I just recommend that people learn more than they do right now. And then make your own choice. I
think that's the smartest, most responsible option to make sure that if they wreck themselves somehow, that isn't on you. But personally, I have a death wish, and I'm like, do it.
Yeah.
Because if it all burns down, then I was wrong. But if it doesn't, then I am right AF, homie.
And you want to, but why do you want to be right so bad?
I want to show them that just like Michael Saylor, I can walk out onto the invisible bridge in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or whatever, and show you that I can stand on it. Mm-hmm. I can stand on it. I throw some sand so you can see the surface. I walk out. I'm like, look, I'm out here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to go into the ocean because you think it's too deep. I went in. There's a sandbar out here, y'all. Look. Mm-hmm. It's only up to my knees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come out here.
Yeah.
Get out here.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I just think too, we do a lot of like safeguarding in today's world with how litigious it is and how much there's backlash and stuff to where it's like, well, disclaimer. And I'm like, you know what? No, I believe in this, dude. I believe in this.
Yep.
So shout out real quick to my boy Hughes Farms Pure Maple Syrup Products out of Michigan. He has started watching this show, and whenever I go to comment on someone's comment, I click on their name in case they have like their first name there, so that so instead of being like, "Hey at Dibbity Skibbity Wibbity," I can be like, "Hey Roger."
Yeah.
Because sometimes they have their name. So I clicked on his YouTube profile, all kinds of syrup. Okay. Now I love maple syrup. Why? It's basically tree blood. when you think about it.
Well, yeah.
It's basically tree blood.
They like they don't distill it. They just probably like boil it down, right?
Yeah,
they take the sap and they boil it down.
Yeah, I think you're like harvesting the sap, and it's like big clear liquid, and you're kind of like boiling off the liquid.
Have you ever had maple water?
No. Is that juicy?
Well, it's just before they boil it down.
Oh, so basically it's just straight tree sap. I want some tree sap, dude.
There was a company called Sap on Tap for a while.
Oh, satchats.
And now, and there was also, still is, a company called just Maple Water.
Yeah,
you can still buy that. Yeah.
I love trees.
Yeah.
They're one of my favorite things. And sap is basically the blood of trees, and I am a tree vampire, dude. Mm-hmm. I want to drink the blood of trees, 100%, because I believe that's going to turbocharge me with power.
Tree blood.
So
Hughes is loving it.
So
Michael.
So I went into his comment. I'm like, hey, dude, thanks for watching the show. If you want to send us some of your syrup, we'll try it during the tasting sequence of one of our shows. Dude emailed me. He's like, I'm right here.
Yes.
He's like, what's that address?
You rang.
He's like, I am a tree vampire, and you have invited me into your house.
Yes.
So number 40 got him our studio address. He sent us some syrup, and I think we also asked him, like, what's the right way to taste it? Do you just go slurp boy? You know what I mean? Do you just beep your slurp, or do we need to dip something in it? So I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to taste Hughes Farms' tree blood.
Yeah.
And if I can get some of that tree water, dude, I'll slurp on that, because that looks like tree. The sap is just straight up the tree blood, and then the syrup is like a
concentrate.
Yeah.
I mean, they sell it at Whole Foods. When I'm at Whole Foods next, I'll pick some up. I'll bring it to you.
Okay. But I want this guy's syrup, because he's a Bitcoiner in Michigan who's doing up his business. He's not like, I don't think he's like a huge dude. Like, I suspect that his syrup is going to be like yummy, above and beyond like Aunt Jemima.
Oh, for sure, above that.
Yeah.
That's just garbage.
Oh.
High fructose corn syrup and brown.
And
brown. So we got Blunt Man Bitcoin congratulating us on being node runners now, and I actually want to take a pause there and accept that.
Okay.
Proudly. And say, yes, indeed, we are running a node here. What version of the software are we working with?
It was one of the most recent ones. It was like 28 or 29 when we set it up.
Okay, so we're not running knots then?
No, because Simple Steve said that it can be... Knots is a version of the node that basically makes a statement that says, we don't want any peeing in the mempool. No peeing in the mempool, okay?
Like this?
Like this, exactly. No peeing in the mempool. Like, if you're gonna run knots, it's because you're like, dude, nobody pee in the mempool. And, that might be what we want as a show. It might not be, I don't know. But he basically said, let's not make a political, an inside baseball political statement as our first move as a show. Let's run the most recent version of the core software. And the way that we can fend off other Bitcoin maxis from finding us and devouring us is to claim that we are, quote, evaluating the software.
Okay.
Right? So, Blunt Man, if you're a Knots maxi and, us running the latest version of Bitcoin Core isn't good enough, you can give us a break, because we're, quote, evaluating the software.
I trust Simple Steve,
with my life.
With my life.
With my Bitcoin life.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm glad you're here, Blunt Man, because he was one of the earliest dudes in one of the earliest live shows that's like, guys, run a node. Yeah, and he might have even been in the comments like, dude, y'all are knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Run a node. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are officially Philosopher Kings here on satchats, just as Simple Steve said. And as long as you have a BitAxe, your own node, and your own keys, you have the triangle.
Let's jump into the meme review. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. So put it in the chat when we're back on Soundwise. Can't wait for you guys to see full bull run season. It gets insane. Okay, so we'll let them know. Okay.
All right, we're good.
All right, so let's look at this. Let us know in the chat if we're good again. Okay, so here's the meme, because we got a bunch of them for you. Bitcoin says he's probably thinking about other investments, and then Michael Saylor, if I sell my chairs, I could buy more Bitcoin. And my favorite part is, and standing is healthier anyway.
Healthier anyway. I mean, what am I even doing?
Standing is healthier anyway. Incredible. All right, what do we got next here, Jer? Oh my God, amazing. Chris, you guys can thank Chris for these memes. He is our official person who gets memes.
Oh, this is a good one.
So maybe you walk us through this one.
All right, this is from Terminator. What is this even from? Terminator. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you come back to save the human race from machines? No. I'm here to buy Bitcoin on the cheap.
I love that, dude. And the comment even says, one day you'll tell your kids you bought Bitcoin at 100K and it will be legendary.
Yeah.
I love that this isn't even a meme from when Bitcoin was like $1 or $10 or $1,000. It's right now. People know that that's a legendary amount.
So early. So early. We are so early.
All right, what do we got next here? Okay, gonna pull this little buddy up. Yeah. They printed $8 trillion, gave you $1,400, sent the rest to their friends, and left you with inflation.
Ooh. Here you go, bud. Enjoy that.
That reframes the stimulus checks so bad, it's ridiculous, dude. That is a stimmy check destroyer of worlds, man. And I hate to say the word "I wish" because I don't think that's a good statement for guys like us. That leads to like not good. But I do wish that I just drove those stimulus checks into Bitcoin because that's literally the government printing money that I could then take to just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know. I'm sure we spent it to like keep ourselves afloat, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
Bitcoin
that is
Magazine.
why we Bitcoin.
Shout out to Bitcoin Magazine. They're always the Bitcoin conference. They've got lots of great meme content.
Yeah. All right. What about this one, Chris?
Your bank account lost about 70% of its value in 25 years. God. Look at that chart. Savings aren't safe from the money printer. So this is what happens if you just put your money into a savings account. And I used to think that was the most responsible thing you could do.
Dude.
Just save your money. Just open this high yield savings account.
Yeah.
And you'll be ahead of the game.
Dude, it's crazy to think about if in the year 2000, when I was 15 years old, if I put $100 in a bank account like a good young man and came to spend it today as a 40-year-old man, I would only be able to buy $30 worth of stuff.
Yep.
That is enraging.
Yeah.
But it's only enraging if you want your fiat currency, your US dollar, to be a store of value. If we can have the serenity to accept that the US dollar is an excellent medium of exchange and unit of account, then we don't have to get mad at it for being a poor store of value.
Yeah.
We only need the dollars when it's time to make the transaction.
Yes.
We can protect ourselves in a Bitcoin castle or citadel, and then we just send enough soldiers out in the form of dollars to get that transaction, you know?
Well, you can do what Jack Mallers says so well, which is I save in sats and I spend in dollars.
Yeah.
I save the money that goes up in value and I spend the money that goes down in value.
And number 60 Simple Steve has this down to a T, where he lives on a Bitcoin standard. He makes all of his transactions on a credit card.
Yeah.
And then he simply sells enough Satoshis once per month to generate enough US dollars once per month to pay off the credit card bill.
Yep.
And then he's good to go, right? TikTok, next block, let's go. Bitcoin keeps going.
Oh, yeah.
The UTX Oracle says the last block was 29 minutes ago. That can't be right. But our block clock just flashed up, so we're still rolling. All right.
Next one.
Let's see what we got next here, brother. We'll just flash that one since that's not family friendly. You guys read that one, and then we'll move right on because we were supposed to censor that, and we did not. This one is hilarious, man.
Oh yeah.
The font looks exactly like those like bougie candles that you see in the stores with, you know, where they probably have photographs on the wall of golden retrievers with a dandelion crown on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smells like I was right about Bitcoin, dude. Hey, Marcella. Hello. Now, Marcella, you're down in like Argentina. Is it Argentina where you are? I think she's coming to us all the way from Argentina. So that's amazing. Let me know if I have that right, Marcella. We really appreciate you watching the show. And we appreciate you with all your comments, all your engagement. People like Marcella, Bluntman, Senor Gringo, Richard Puente, all these guys are huge. So
DS Flats? Where's DS Flat?
DS Flat actually decided to see if the world was truly flat, and he fell off the side.
Did he?
He fell. He got all the way to the edge of the earth and just...
Oh, man.
And our girl went after him.
Yeah.
Shoot. What's her name, dude?
Yeah.
So, it makes me so sad that she doesn't comment anymore.
I think she was a bot.
You think so?
Maybe not, but
because her comments got more and more real though. So
LLMs.
Jana, where are you?
Yeah.
Jana, if you were not just a bot, comment on one of our videos and say, hello from Asia, it's Jana. Okay?
Yeah.
And if you were only here for the 1 million sats and when you didn't win it, you got disappointed and went away, come on back.
Yeah.
Because now we're doing 10 million sats.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Just come on back. All right. So do we have anything else on the memes there, Jer? Smells like I was right about I love this smell. I need to get that candle from my wife. I actually texted my wife yesterday. I was like, Bitcoin is officially up 100% from this time from 1 year ago. You know, when you look at so let's do this one real quick.
This one's hot,
dude.
This is straight out of Michael Saylor's playbook right here.
Let me hear it, dude.
Buying Bitcoin right now is like buying real estate in Manhattan in the 1800s. I love that. It is. We are so early, and I don't know. I think I hate it when people are like, "Oh yeah, Bitcoin. I missed the boat. Missed the boat." I mean, do I hate that?
Yes.
Selfishly, I'm okay with it because I'm like, fine, more Bitcoin for me. But I hate that for them, and I hate that for Bitcoin.
Yeah. You're not too late. You're not too late, dude. So it's like, just do it now. Maybe you didn't buy the island like in the 1600s, but you bought it in the 1800s.
Yeah.
All right, when you save in dollars, everything gets more expensive. When you save in Bitcoin, everything gets less expensive. Pretty simple concept, really. Here you've got a home for $238,000 going all the way up to almost $600,000 over 16 years. I guess that's a projection into 2028. 44,000 Bitcoin in 2012, and now the projection in 2028 is it's going to be 0.4 Bitcoin. Bro, that's crazy. And we're giving away 0.1 Bitcoin right now. So we'll pay for 25% of your house in 2028 if you just smash the subscribe while you're watching the live show with us today. Just smash the subscribe. Now, Bluntman's right. Let's imagine you bought property in Manhattan in the 1800s or the 1600s and you never sold it, and you just like leased it to people to buy to build buildings on top of and then tear them down, bigger buildings, tear them down, and you just kept that land. You're chilling, man. You're chilling, man. All right, so we got some. Is this your don't take? Is this a new? Do you want to pilot it? Do you want to try it out? Tell people what you want to do.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is for another segment is that we do a don't take our word for it. Let's hear what these public figures, Bitcoiners, people beside Chris and Stuart, let's hear what they have to say about Bitcoin, and jump in the chat. See, comment. What do you think? Bitcoin will unite a deeply divided country and eventually the world. Do you think that's true?
Dude, one money, one world.
Yep.
I do.
Yep.
I do. Create the structure for everyone to transact freely with one another, and it will resolve a whole bunch of problems.
Yep.
Maybe not all of them, because we're still human beings and we still have our own minds that we have to deal with. But you're going to get rid of a ridiculous number of problems by going from 200 plus different local currencies and a handful of metals down to one clean digital unit.
Yep. Give us a thumbs up here in the chat if you think Jack Dorsey is right. When do you think that happens?
I think we're going to get there before the last Bitcoin is issued. I like before we reach 21 million complete supply, I think it'll already be over.
I agree.
Maybe not. I don't think it will displace every other piece of money, period, because that's not how currency works. Like Dr. Jamar talked to us about how candy can be a currency for a child.
Right.
And they would rather take 3 pieces of candy to clean up their room than $3. So people will still use, potentially local currencies, or you'll have like local co-ops that are like, hey, we got like Pittsburgh, I think, had its own form of money for a little while. It might still have. And it's designed to like keep it in the local economy.
Ithaca did. Ithaca was the first one, actually. The Ithaca dollar.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that will still have, but the majority, I think that the real more than 50% will be Bitcoin before it's fully done being issued.
All right, another Jack Dorsey here. Bitcoin will make the current financial system feel as irrelevant as the fax machine. Big prediction by the founder of Twitter, and he's obviously a big futurist and big thinker. I think this has to be true.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are so trapped up in what's happening right now that they never think something better will come along. Like, nobody was imagining the smartphone back when they had their Nokia bricks. They were just like, dude, these Nokia bricks are insane. Mm-hmm. And nobody was imagining the Nokia bricks when they had their giant car phone. You remember car phones?
Remember the bleep bleep?
The what?
The Motorola geek geek?
I don't think I do.
It was like a walkie-talkie.
It was like a walkie-talkie plus cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I do remember that. And like the Motorola Razr came out and everybody was like, oh my God. But it was basically just like a green screen with some numbers. You know what I mean? So I do think that Bitcoin's going to replace, bro.
Now we're back in the memes.
Bank that needs your money, money that doesn't need your bank. Dude, I loved this one.
So good. Look at that bus in the bottom. It's just like...
Bank that needs your money, money that doesn't need your bank.
Absolutely embarrasses the bus.
This is so devastating.
Yeah.
Money that doesn't need your bank?
Yeah.
Golly.
Don't need it.
And like, how would this make my wife feel to see? Like, memes can be so powerful because you're like, bam.
Yeah.
In one image, it can do like a whole chat about sats,
One of my favorite things to say to my enemies or adversaries, of which, I have some, is no thank you. No thank you. Just like real chill. No thanks. No thank you.
They're like trying to get inside your sovereign citadel, and you're like, mm-mm.
Well,
no.
Some dude, so there's a guy on LinkedIn, and I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but he came out with a certification, him and his company, for brands and for products to be certified that they are the thing that he's certifying.
Okay.
And I think the thing that he's certifying is totally bogus. And anyway, he reached out to me, and he's like, we could get you guys certified for this certification. Just no, thank you.
Yeah, dude.
That's it. That's the coldest.
Don't make up a certification and then charge me to get certified. Do you know what I mean?
Give me a break, dude.
It would be like a bank being like, yeah, we can certify that Bitcoin is safe for use. It's like, no, we're good.
Yeah,
thank you.
We don't need you.
We're good. We know it's safe to use.
Yeah.
All right, so
that was the meme review.
Okay.
And we had a little bit of the pilot of Don't Take Our Word for It.
Yep.
Which is a segment that I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to hear what the audience thinks.
We're getting some thumbs up.
Yeah,
thumbs up.
Should we add the Don't Take Our Word for It segment?
Yeah.
As a different than the meme review.
Totally.
I think it's cool because you and I get to react. Maybe I hide them from you and then get you to talk about them or something.
I like that.
I don't know.
Like that. I think Kristen will like that situation because she's like the worst part about your show is that you sound like an expert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I have been studying it a lot, babe. Like, I do think I have expertise when compared to the average person who hasn't spent any time. Mm-hmm. But she's so afraid that people are going to trust me and learn from me and buy Bitcoin and then like somehow get absolutely wrecked. I don't know. So let's see what Richard Prente says here. Bitcoin lending and borrowing has already begun. The banks have no idea how behind the trend they are.
Have we released Mark's episode yet?
Yes, I think Mark's episode was yesterday.
Yeah, so we talk about that. Mark talks about that because now there's what was the bill that was just passed?
FHFA 2025-360. Yeah.
So now banks have to classify Bitcoin or look at Bitcoin as part of someone's personal balance sheet when they assess your creditworthiness.
Yeah.
And before they didn't. Right? And that was a big problem. That was a big problem asking like this guy that I orange pilled on Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. You know, for him it's like, well, why am I going to like basically park all this capital into this asset that I don't get any credit for with the bank when I want to go take out a loan? Mm-hmm. That's a problem for people. It's a big problem for people.
Yeah.
The fact that that is lifted now, number one, it's going to get more people to buy Bitcoin who were not willing to do it previously. Mm-hmm. Number two, it's going to make all the Bitcoin lenders out there that already exist, they've got way more competition now.
That's interesting.
They've got more competition. So the interest rates on Bitcoin-backed loans will plummet.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like I'm working with a bank and saying, look, my annual salary is $75,000 and I'd like a loan. And I also have this acre of land in New York City. And what can I get? And they're like, we're going to ignore the property in New York City. We can really only look at your annual income, and so we can't give you a loan that big. You're like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I have this incredibly valuable thing that I control. Let me get a loan against it. And they're like, nah, bruh. Mm-hmm. So that is interesting. And when I was listening back to Mark's episode, he actually talked about how earlier, in order to get a loan from the bank, you would need to take out a loan from an early day lender at a crazy interest rate, put it in the bank as cash, and then show the bank, look at the cash I have. Get the loan from the bank at the correct interest rate, and then I assume send that original loan back to that lender. So it was crazy. You had to almost like manually demonstrate the value of your Bitcoin in order to get a loan against it. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. I can't wait to get more Bitcoin and explore that world because all my loans have come off of the back of my perceived ability to continue earning money because I ain't got no assets, y'all. Mm-hmm. And so I don't understand it. I don't understand the world of taking a loan out against your asset and being completely okay to effectively never pay it back, like number 14 Robert was talking about. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
So, but obviously it's a real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just keep rolling your balance.
Insane. Fiat clown world. Dude. Part of me is really looking forward to a world where either you have the Bitcoin or you do not. And all of like the loan games that you can play, all like do you think that, maybe this is the last thing we'll talk about before we wrap up. If we were in a hyper Bitcoinized world, and for all of our pre-coiners, that means a world where Bitcoin is quite simply the world's money. And there's really no other forms of money out there. It's just Bitcoin and that's it. Does that end the world of buy, borrow, die? And everyone just either has the Satoshis or they just don't?
I think with enough time, yes. Eventually, I think that will happen because we're moving from an inflationary system to a deflationary system. Mm-hmm. So without inflation, it's really hard to issue credit and debt like that. Where's the spread on the money?
Yeah, and if Bitcoin's the only money there is, what would they issue you in exchange for your Bitcoin?
Right.
That doesn't maybe they would issue a token, on some blockchain.
Let me rethink that. So, I think it would dramatically impact your ability to lend, to borrow using like a collateralized loan. So I don't know.
Maybe you could still put up a house as collateral for a Bitcoin loan.
Yeah.
But like if the US dollar is gone, then there wouldn't be a way to put your Bitcoin and get some US dollars as a result. You know, it's kind of like, do you have enough intergalactic credits for this purchase or do you not?
Yeah, but I do think there will always be a business of, well, I'll give you the Bitcoin now, but you just have to promise to pay it back. And you can continue to earn Bitcoin and pay me back in small increments over time for this thing that you need a lot of money right now for.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel it would be simpler if we lived in a world where either you do or you do not. But there isn't this like mesh laid on top of everything that helps people kind of get out ahead quicker with a loan, you know? Like I think my great grandfather like built a house in Texas only when he had enough money to buy materials. And he just built it a little bit at a time. Kind of like what number 16 Mile was talking about, how Mexicans, they just they're like, well, you know, this is how far I got and I need to go get more money to go any further.
I'll come back next year when I got a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's like a lower time preference.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's, you know, food for me to think about. So let's take a quick look at our upcoming shows for all you Satillionaires. Monday, we've got number 89 Jarrett on deck, who is from the Raleigh Bitcoin meetup. He came into the studio and talked to us about how his background in structural engineering and real estate has gotten him to a place where he understands that scarcity has value. And as soon as he saw that Bitcoin was more scarce than real estate, he's like, screw it, Bitcoin. Tuesday, we've got number 90 Shane. And I'm excited about this one because Shane came into the studio convinced he was going to take the $50. We had a limited amount of time to work with him before he had to leave. Unbeknownst to the two of us, Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs, but I could feel the power of the blockchain coursing through my veins. I was like Kool-Aid man. And you'll have to tune in Tuesday all the way to the end to see if Shane sticks to his guns and chooses the cash, or if he decides to stack the Satoshis. So those are our shows for Monday and for Tuesday. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to share with us?
I'm excited for the all-time high. Feel like it's overdue. And it's going to go back down. And then it's going to go back up. I'm excited, but I'm not like, you know, this is just what Bitcoin does.
Yes. Bitcoin is higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs followed by higher lows. You know what I mean? And there's a great meme I'll find where it's like headlines throughout the ages. It's like Bitcoin crashes to $3,000.
Yeah.
Bitcoin crashes to $30,000. It's like, guys.
The low just keeps getting higher and higher.
So it looks like Senor Gringo Papi's Mexican girlfriend did not listen to him for a long time, but has since doubled her fiat currency by using Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, and I checked the Clark Moody dashboard, since this time last year, it's up 100%. It's up 100%. Oh my God. And I love it. And all we had to do, we just had to hang out.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. There are a couple of things you can do to support our show. What are our goals for August the 21st, my guy?
Well, we need to be at 2,700 subscribers on YouTube.
Okay.
We need 4,000 watch hours. We need $5,000. Is that right? Was it 5,000 in monthly?
Oh, like in sponsorship revenue?
Sponsorship revenues.
Okay. I'm not sure. I walked away saying, okay, I need to find one sponsor.
Yeah.
So I'll have to review
it's either $2,000 or $5,000 we need to close.
Okay.
For September.
Okay.
By August 21st. And then finally, watch hours, YouTube subscribers, sponsorship. There's one other.
That fourth goal is like, bruh.
I know. We forgot it. We forgot it more than once now.
That fourth goal is like feeling like Gen X right now.
We need to get you on booked to be on at least 6 appearances on other shows.
Okay.
For September.
All right. So you Satillionaires can help us with the subscription numbers and the watch hours.
Yep.
Send your favorite episode to your family and to your friends. Tell them to subscribe even if they don't get Bitcoin yet, because like James said earlier in the chat, 10 million Satoshi giveaway is insane.
It's life-changing money.
He says 0.1 is a crazy giveaway.
Yeah.
So send this to your family and friends, and then, when you leave for the day, just strap our playlist on and run it in the background, dude. If you're going to leave the office today, just put on the playlist and then turn off your computer monitor and walk away, dude. Help us mine those watch hours so we can unlock a membership area and so that we can show you some Zaxby's ads at the beginning of our show.
Yeah, we need some money from YouTube too.
Yeah, YouTube, Daddy YouTube, what's up? So help us out there. Smash the subscribe. Get your chance at 10 million sats. You can come on the show like our boy in the chat, Senor Gringo Poppy. He's going to be coming on next week. You can do the same thing. Go to satchats.com to sign up for your slot in the studio today. Bluntman's asking if I've had enough practice before the much-awaited episode 99. Bruh. So we think episode 99 is going to be later this month. Bluntman, I think we're going to tape it at the end of this month and show it should be out early August. I never have enough practice for any conversation I have with my wife, whether it's recorded or not. She is a sphinx and a liger, and it really does not take much for me to walk away completely lacerated by her mystifying claws. So my prediction, Blunt Man, is that I'm going to get eviscerated by my wife.
Yeah.
But Chris is here, and he's part of my support network, and you all are part of my support network. Y'all are gonna help me lick my wounds when I walk away absolutely dead from speaking to my wife.
Are we doing it live?
I think I don't think so, because we've got videos to run, Okay. I don't know if she's comfortable being put on the spot like that.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be taped like any other show.
That's what I thought too.
But in the future, we're going to be on the road, dude. We're going to be selling out stadiums for this stuff. So you can come on the show as well. Our Lightning address, our on-chain Bitcoin address, these are in the show notes. And I think VAW sent us about 1,700 sats yesterday. It's not clear to me, but somebody sent us some sats. So appreciate you, whoever you are, Satillionaires out there. Remember, Sat Chats, and you know what I was thinking in the shower? A sat sent to Sat Chats is a sat sent to a brand new Bitcoiner's wallet.
Yeah.
If you want to help us orange pill people directly by helping to fund their initial stack with us, send in them Satoshis, okay?
Yeah.
Sat Chats Live is for educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial advice. Also, our views are our own.
Obviously.
Right? So we will see you on Monday for Jarrett's episode. It is time for us to go have lunch with our wives.
Thank you.